Wow, the video just started by itself, so I guess that's where I need to start. Um, what you have to realize is that each and every one of you has, excuse me, each and every one of you has greatness encoded in your DNA. And the exact message that came through was that you are all royal, like you are all divine beings. And so there should be no reason why you walk around the earth like you're worth nothing, like you don't mean anything, or like you are not amazing, because all of those things could not be further from the truth. And so what we have to look at specifically is our state of being, not as humans, but our actual state of being, and that is being a soul, right? It was 101 as I looked up. And that is us as a soul. And so I talk about this all the time in my videos, 111. When you actually get up, right, into the higher dimensions, you physically are there, your soul is there, and you are in the state where you can create anything right there. You are at your most abundant, you are at your most divine, right? There's no illusion of separation. And the illusion of separation is what keeps people down, especially down here, right? And so I had talked about this in one of my videos. Like in one of the higher dimensions, I was just seeing, you know, all of these souls, and they all stand there, and they're just surrounded by, I don't even know what physically it is, but it's currency, 202. It's currency of some sort. And all of this is just stacked high in piles around everybody's soul. And that is like your birthright. Like it is your birthright to access that abundance. It is for you. 222, and it's 727, 72 degrees out here. So right now, I feel like you are really being called to embody that energy. You are really being called to step into that like form of yourself and really move like you are that royal being, like you are that divine being down here on earth, because that energy is within you. It's just waiting to be activated if you're not moving like that already, right? And so 303, and so right now, heavy my Taurus tattoo has been going crazy the past couple days, and through that energy, I feel like there is ancestry, there is tribal / indigenous or royal components of DNA that are trying to be activated right now. And with us reincarnating constantly, right, there are past lives that you've had where you have been, you know, rulers, where you have been kings, queens, where you have been in tribal societies and indigenous societies and stuff like that. And those lineage, like that lineage, those lifetimes encoded certain things into your soul blueprint for you to be able to activate at any time. And then on top of that, right, all of us stem from the same tree, and that is source, right? That is God energy. And so everything that God is, we are. And so there's no way that we could be down here and be unable to tap into that frequency, to tap into that energy, and be the people that we were all destined to be, you see? Because when I think of high society, when I think of the world at its peak, and I envision and I see everybody walking around, I know as everybody is in their highest state, everybody walks around like they are divine, not in a cocky way, not in a way that looks down on others, but in a way where they know their truth, where they know the truth of their being, and they stand firm within that, and they basically live that here on earth. They are in the knowing and understanding that they are souls having a human being experience, and that they are pieces of the bigger puzzle, that they are God, right? That they are just a piece of God, but there's no separation. And I just got a notification. No fucking way. Yeah, I just got a notification, sorry. Damn, that completely threw me off. So basically right now, there is a need to dive inward and to start taking the steps necessary to embody that energy fully and come into that state of being. There is a need right now to try to dive into your past lives and see what is being activated, to see what is coming to the forefront. Also, along with this, is there could have been things that happened in past lives, specifically these ones that I mentioned when it comes to the royal bloodlines, when it comes to the tribal, the indigenous bloodlines that need to be healed. A lot of the ancient tribals, like the Aztec, the Mayans, they were tapped in, but in a different way. And a lot of times what they would do is they would do things that would basically push all of their karma off to their descendants. And so if you have that lineage, either physically or soul-wise, then certain things could be happening, certain patterns and cycles could be happening because they pushed their destiny off onto everybody that came after them. I know it sounds extremely fucked, but that's how they did it, right? And so right now, like I said, there's no reason why every day you shouldn't get up and look in the mirror and feel nothing but the highest caliber of love for yourself. There's no reason why you should be waking up every day and you're putting yourself in positions that the highest version of you would not entertain. There's no reason why you should get up every day and you're still allowing people in your life that don't deserve to be there, that you're waking up and you're letting people, use you for whatever, your energy, your body, your mind, like whatever it is. It's time to stop, bro. It's time to start living in the truth. And I say this all the time, like everybody is destined for greatness. Everybody is destined for success. And there's plenty enough of everything here on the earth for everyone to have. I was just thinking about this yesterday, like even if everybody in the world became like a content creator or became a business owner, there's so many people that there's always going to be enough people to provide enough money for everything, right? And 909, as long as you are living the right life, as long as you are, doing the things you need to do, as long as you are taking those steps, as long as you are following the right path, number one, God is always going to take care of you. God is always going to give you what you need. God is always going to make sure that you are provided for. And so, it's 7:34, but when I looked down here, I was reading this backwards and I was like 34. Also, 337 could be significant for you. I was driving to go get some pizza and I had looked up the song Girlfriend by Bow Wow and Omarion came on. and I was like, Bow Wow 33, and then Omarion 7, and then I looked at the license plate ahead of me, and it was 337. So that could be significant for you. But we really have to step it up 1010 in the department of walking the walk. Like, you can claim that you know that you are a divine being. You can claim that you know that you are a royal. You can claim that you have the power. But if you're not living like it, if you're not feeling it, if you're not embodying that energy, it's just gonna feel like words with nothing behind it. You know what I mean? And so I was thinking about that today I'm wearing like all baggy clothes, and you know, I work out, so like I do like wearing like tighter fitting clothes sometimes, which I never used to like doing because of how skinny I was, right? But then I noticed that I always feel amazing when I'm wearing like baggy ass clothes, and I unpack that 1111 and I'm like, oh, that's like a royalty thing. Like, royalty used to wear long flowy like clothes, like comfortable fitting clothes, right? They didn't want to be restricted. They just existed, you know what I mean? And this is the type of energy that you need to embody. Not that you need to go around wearing baggy clothes. That's not what I'm saying. I just mean that you really have to place yourself up, right? You really have to get in that space so that you can truly embody what you are on this earth. Because if you look at the people that embody this energy, you can see it. You can see the divinity coming from them. You can feel the divinity coming from them. You feel source energy radiating from these people. And do these people think that they're better than anybody else? No. They're just tapped in a way, 1212, that allows them to coexist, to align with who they actually are. And that's the other thing. If you put on a facade, if you try to act like and be like somebody that you're not, something that you're not, then the energy is never going to flow for you in the way that you're hoping that it's going to flow, in the way that I'm speaking right now. If you, for instance, like, generally speaking, if you try to align yourself with devil energy, with like demonic energy, stuff like that, if you have like God-given gifts, right, and you try to use those for the other team, for the team of darkness, God is never going to let that happen. God will never let that happen. And so if 1313, if you feel like, you know, that could be resonating with you, that you tend to try to partner with the darkness, that you tend to try to, you know, work with darkness, that was never the plan for you. And that is why certain things just never go right for you, because they were never going to. Because if God gives you a gift, like a musical ability, for instance, what makes you think he's going to let you use that for the devil? What makes you think that he would let you bring people closer to the darkness with that gift when he meant for you to use it for the light? That's like when I was younger, when I first started making music, perfect example. I used to make music and I was like on the darker, like witchcraft kind of side, or like the old school, like Eminem, like Slim Shady type vibe. That's the kind of vibe I would go for in my music. And so a lot of times I would rap about shit that I, A, was not even doing, but B, it's just like, now I see, I'm like, oh, like, there's a reason why my music never went anywhere. There's a reason why I was so trash at it. It's because God would never want me using it to like promote darkness. You know what I mean? And so if if you find that, you know, you carry this darkness, and I'm not talking about in a balanced way, right? Because, you know, I say it a million times, everybody is half light, half dark, half masculine, half feminine, right? We have 4 energies that make us up, and that is because God is half light, half dark, half masculine, half feminine. At the highest level, God is everything, right? So it only makes sense that he is a balance of the 4 main energies that exist, right? And so alchemizing your darkness and keeping your darkness under control is a must to step into this energy, is a must to step into this abundance, is a must to really embody this energy. And I say it all the time, the people that pretty much are always putting on this image that they are absolutely nothing but love and light, it's not factual. It's not factual in that sense, 1616, because we are all created in God's image. So we all have the light, we all have the darkness. But when you see people that are balanced, you could tell that they went through it, that they forged their darkness. What it makes me think is the song Not Afraid by Eminem, which actually has been coming up a lot. But he's like, it's time to exercise these demons. These motherfuckers are doing jumping jacks now. It's like that type of energy, like somebody that's been through it and through it and through it, and put through it. I mean, really put through it to master their darkness, to master it, and to be able to keep it in check. And so when we talk about shadow work, we're looking at the shadow, we're working on the shadow side of things. And, you know, it's a lot of work. It does take a lot of work, and it's not easy work, because a lot of the stuff within the shadow has to deal with heavy stuff in the heart, I feel like. And so sometimes people can avoid shadow work. I know I've known people that physically will sit there and be like, yeah, I need to work on this, and this. And I'm like, all right, well, like, what are you waiting for? And they're like, oh, well, I know it's going to hurt, so I don't want to do it. Like you're tapped in. You already know that you need to do this, but you don't want to just because it's going to hurt. I've seen people that I'm like, so what are you going to do? And they're just like, oh, well, I guess I'll just never deal with it. Okay. Well, I'm on the up and up, so physically I can't associate myself with you, but I wish you the best of luck. 1818. Like, you can't acknowledge the fact that things need work and then never work on them. You can't acknowledge the fact that things have to change, but then never take action on them. They say the first step is admitting you have a problem. Well, the first step is really, I'm not talking about like addiction or anything. I'm talking about for this. The first step really is making that conscious decision that you want to change, that you want to elevate, that you want to move forward. But then after that, really, it's like, it feels like it's 2 first steps, because it's the conscious decision, but that's not really a first step. That's really just the first idea, the first mindset, right? The first step is actually taking action, 19, and keeping the action going. The first step is discipline. That's what I'm saying. The first step is discipline. Each and every one of you is destined for greatness. Each and every one of you is destined to be the highest version that you could be. Each one of you is and always will be a piece of the Creator. And so you need to fucking act like it. So you need to fucking act like it. I just started, like I have a friend, I'm not gonna say, you know, who she is, but whenever we would talk, she would always, like, on Snapchat and shit, she would always put a filter on, and I always tell her, like, why are you doing that? Like, why are you doing that? Like, nah. So I just told her the other day, I was like, from now on, when you text me, I don't want to see that on there. I do not want to see it. Like, God made you, 2020, God made you the way you are. You're beautiful, bro. God made you the way you are. You're handsome, bro. No matter how you look, you are created in God's image, and that in itself is the beauty. I know y'all see that fucking back there, and that is the beauty. That is the fuck. I was about to say saving grace. That is the whole thing right there. Because when you incarnate to earth, you choose how you're going to look. Like, your soul, on the soul level, you pick your parents. They always say you can pick your friends, but you can't pick your family. Nah, bro, you picked your family. You did. And I'm gonna burst somebody's bubble right now. You chose to be exactly where you are, 21. You chose to go through the things that you were gonna go through when God called you up and was like, bring, you're gonna go down to earth. And you know what? This is what we're going to work on. This is what we're going to do. We have these things to learn this lifetime. We have these things to accomplish. And you sat there and you were like, yep, yeah, we'll go with that right there. And so, like, I personally, bruh, I hated the way that I looked for the longest time. That's another thing that comes with the embodiment of the highest version of you, of the divine version of you, is fully loving yourself. And that even means going back and loving, like, your inner child, loving past versions of yourself, loving the pieces and parts of you that you never thought could be loved by anyone. That's up to you, bro, because God loves you for everything, right? I think about when I was addicted to drugs hardcore, bro, and so, well, just any time where I could be put in a situation where somebody either says something or, like, invites me to do something, or I see something, and that version of me will get up and be like, what? Like, did somebody say my name? And I'll just sit there and I'll just lay him in bed, and I'm like, no, like, your time is done. Like, it's just time for you to sleep right now, bro. Like, I love you. Your time is to sleep. Like, there's nothing here for you. Like, it's like that type of energy, right? You treat that with love, because I feel like a lot of times when people don't like things about themselves, they reject it in a very harsh way, when instead you just need to use love to patch everything. Like, think of love as like the magic eraser, and all of the problems within 2323 are going to be fixed with love, whether that be your love, God's love, and when you come into union, your partner's love. That is where everything is really going to start, like, be healed. And it reminds me, like, there was a girl that I did a cord cutting for, and freaking, I get into the space, right? I get into meditation. She's on the phone. She's also in meditation. I go to her. This cord of attachment with this guy is like this big in her fucking back, through years of karmic lifetimes incarnating with this dude. And he's always a karmic. And so, I freaking, you know, call on Archangel Michael, and I'm like, bruh, help me remove this. That's not exactly what I said, but I do talk like that when I am speaking to, like, God or, like, the angels and shit like that. Like, that's just me. 24. When I'm talking to the deities and all that shit, I do not change up any type of way that I am just to speak to them. Like, they're just people just like us, but they're, I mean, not people, but you know what I mean, right? And so I freaking and so I'm like, yeah, like, help me, like, remove this. So we end up dissolving the cord, and then there's just this hole in her back, and I sit there and we concentrate a ball of like of love and light, and I basically get it, and like we just like start pushing it and layering it into her back until it's like patched up. And when it was done, she actually said that she could see the hole from where we removed the cord while she was in the meditation, the meditative trance and all that stuff. So there is a lot of internal work, I feel like, 25 that either needs to be done, or if this message is resonating for you but you already embody that energy, you already went through all of that, then, you know, because it's not easy to get to the level where you are embodying that energy. It takes a lot of work, and really it takes a lot of testing from God. But I feel like I'm always talking about God testing people in my videos, but it really does take a lot, because God is gonna he's gonna take you to the highs, but he's gonna make sure that you go through the lows, because you can't go to the highs without going to the lows. And the lows are where you're forged. The lows are where you are tested the most. The lows are when you really find what you are made of, 26. And the lows are really where you find out who you are. When you have nothing, when you have no one, when you have nobody to turn to except God, that is where you figure out exactly who you are and where you're going to be going. Like, I was just talking about this the other day with somebody. Like, bruh, last year when I was dating this girl that was overseas, she ended up losing her place to stay, so I was sending her all of my money. I was eating a can of beans a day and a sandwich from McDonald's every day for like months. And then I started getting rice too, so then I would eat like a cup of rice and a can of beans every day. And when I tell you the level of fucking hunger that I would go through some days, and then forget about my off days. If I was off that day, I would be fucking hungry, especially if I didn't have anything, because I would basically send her most of my money so that she could 27, so that she could have a place to sleep at night. Because I was like, you know, I already have my place. I pay my rent, I pay my phone bill, my child support, and, you know, there I am. And so you are going to go through it. Not everybody, you know, has to go through the long nights of being hungry. Not everybody has to go through the being homeless like I have. It just, everybody's journey is different, and it's handcrafted to where when you step out, when you emerge as the royal being, the divine being that you are exactly who God needs you to be for the role that he has for you in the world. You are exactly handcrafted, hand molded, hand forged by God himself for the purpose, the task that you were brought here to do for him. 28. You are physically handcrafted. And so if the sculptor is God, if you are created in God's image, if you are sculpted to look just like him, if you are sculpted to be a miniature version of God, how can you lose? How can you miss? How can anything affect you negatively if you hold this truth within you 24/7? If every time you get low, you remind yourself, I'm a piece of God. It doesn't matter what I'm feeling in this moment. I'm a piece of God, bro. This human shit doesn't mean shit. I'm a divine being. I'm a fucking royal. I am a piece of God. There is no separation. I am connected at all times. There's nothing around me. 29. There's nothing around me but divinity. When you change your mindset, when you start working on these things, a lot shifts, a lot changes for you. And I feel it in my soul that each and every one of you is going to get to that level. Each and every one of you is going to be embodying the highest version of yourself. And this lifetime that we're living right now, I'm trying to tell y'all, this is going to be a lifetime like no other. Well, there was another one like 2,000 years ago, but this is going to be a lifetime like no other. I'm trying to tell you. We are going to see a massive resurgence of Christ energy here on earth. And we are going to see the masses 30-30 waking up and embodying the highest truth of themselves. Glory be to fucking God, bro. Glory be to God. But I hope y'all have a blessed day. I hope this message resonated. And God, I ask that you help these people, if they haven't already, step into that version of themselves and come into the truth of being within themselves.